Welcome back, everybody. This is a Rudder 7.4, so volume 4, so fourth video in our Rudder series. We started out by doing the trailing edge is what they call that little piece. What you have to do is countersink it on both sides. One side is actually pretty easy to do. The countersink bit fits in the hole. It countersinks pretty well. You just set your micro stop to the right depth, and it works pretty well. I did find out though that if you do it on carpet, it works really well because the carpet seems to hold it in place and give it a little bit of cushion, and it just it worked really well. Especially on the second side. It made it really easy to do the second side as well. That's my friend Brad again helping me, drilling the holes there with the countersink with the number 40 countersink, I believe is what's in there. So you just put it in the hole, go until the countersink stops, and then it's the right depth for the dimpled skins of the rudder. So my mom is not there that day, so I was acting as foreman, as the boss. So like I said, the first side is pretty easy to do. When you get to the second side, what you kind of have to do is kind of hold the drill and force it up against the wide side, because that's where the skinny side of that piece is your two countersinks are going to basically touch each other, and so your hole gets widened out a bit. But if you hold your drill to the thick side of it, it can actually ride against the actual hole, and it doesn't drill out that hole as much. The hole does get a little bit bigger just because the countersinks on both sides, when they touch in the middle, you're removing material there, and so they are a little bit bigger. But if you keep the drill to the thick side of the material, it seems to work pretty well, and it puts a good countersink in there. It doesn't wobble around on you. We did 2 or 3 or 4 practice pieces to see what the best way to get that done was, and we found out if we let it ride to the skinny side of that piece of material, the hole just gets bigger and bigger. But if you hold it towards the thicker piece, it actually works pretty well. And the carpet helps you do that because you can kind of push against it as you're going, and it doesn't move, but it does keep it level, and you can put some pressure on it to keep it in the hole. So that was kind of nice. So there's me wanting to do a few. So we were looking at it, and then I was explaining that we could manually do all of those holes if we wanted to, but the drill is a heck of a lot faster. So you could see me kind of pushing on the thing to keep it towards the back. That's what I was talking about, is you just kind of push it towards the back, and it seemed to work really well. Ended up getting some really nice countersink holes, and that piece fit perfectly in the 2 skins of the rudder. So this is me. I'm going to back rivet. In the other video, the previous video, I did some back riveting, but it was on the other skin. So this is me finishing up the second skin. I think this is I'm not sure, the right or the left skin of the rudder. So I'm basically doing the same exact thing that I did in the last video, but on the other rudder. You put your rivets in, put some tape over them, turn it over, put the steel plate behind it, so you can rivet those things in, and then you're good to go. There we go. So I'm putting those on there. I'll back rivet them. I did mess up one and had to drill it out. You'll see me do that. And also, I wasn't paying that close of attention, and I did get another rivet kind of in the side of that plastic piece that's on the end of the back rivet, part of the rivet gun. So there's me using tape just to mark to make sure I don't go past that. End up marking. I don't know why I didn't take that other piece of tape off and just use it. I was like, let's waste some tape. It's not a big deal. So there we go. Checking the rivets just to make sure they're the right size. Like I said before, after you do a couple hundred of them, you kind of know. It's like, okay, that one's pretty good, or no, that one's not even close, and then you have to redo them. And like I said before, you get really good at redoing rivets. You'll notice I don't check all of them. I check ones that I think might be off, but they weren't. Here you'll see I'm taking that tape off. I did mention before that the blue tape is harder to take off. Rivet tape would probably be much easier, but it's not horribly bad. So that's me removing the rivet there. It did work pretty well. I got that one right in the center too. The countersunk rivets have like a little dimple in the center of them, so it's pretty easy to get the drill in the center. You just use your spring-loaded counter punch, and you kind of re-punch that hole in the center, and it makes it, nice and big, and you put your drill in the center, and you're good to go. This is me putting the they call them shear. What are they called? Shear something or others. On the one of the skin sides. And so what you do is you pop rivet those guys on one side, and then you lay the other side of the rudder on top of there, and you kind of just fold it together. It's much easier with two people. I don't know how one person alone would be able to do this. It did require somebody holding it because you got tape. You'll notice on the side that my dad's there helping me. We're pulling that double-sided tape, one of the sides of the double-sided tape, and clecoing the trailing edge. At the same time, we go in, we make sure the ribs are lined up, and then we pop rivet those guys in. And then we go down and we kind of do the same thing as we go on each rib. We move it down a little bit more, we pull the tape so it sticks, we line it up, put it, because one of the ribs fits over the other one, but underneath the back portion. So you kind of got to get it in there the correct way. And then you just keep moving up the rudder as you go. You'll see we're getting pretty close to the top one. After we do put the top rib, we cleco that, or finish clecoing it and pop riveting it. I'll stand it up and you can see how straight it is, even though the camera angle isn't the greatest, and it has kind of that fisheye little thing because it's the wide angle, and so as you get away from center line, it kind of makes things look angled. So it's not perfectly centered in the camera, but it's close enough that you can tell that thing is pretty doggone straight. It's pretty awesome how perfectly in line that thing came. So there we are, finishing up, putting it together. We line it up, look down, and it's like, holy cow, that thing is straight. And then the final step is to put that, the spar and the bottom part in there, but I cannot do that because I have the parts on back order and I'm not supposed to get them for a while. As always, thanks for watching. I appreciate you guys. If you have any comments or questions, please feel free to leave them.